What's going on, guys? My name is Mike. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the medium format camera I've used the most throughout 2020 and going into 2021. I've owned this for about 5-6 months, so I feel like I'm definitely at a point where I can give you a review and my honest opinion about the Bronica ETR. It shoots a 6x4.5 negative, so it's a medium format film camera. I've owned a few medium format film cameras. I started with a 6x6 camera, and then I really liked the square format, but the idea of being able to shoot 15 shots per roll with 6.45 was definitely worth me checking out. So, and pretty much is the reason I think I'm going to keep this camera for the foreseeable future. So let's hop over to my website, which is right here. The first photo you see is shot with this camera in a 6x4.5 format. And I think the big reason you would want to shoot medium format film, or I would tell you to get into medium format film, is pretty standoutish in this photo. It's just the medium format depth of field is awesome. It's unlike anything you're going to get on a 35mm camera, film, digital, whatever. But the medium format depth of field, and then you go up into 6x6 and then 6x7, 6x9, those formats, the depth of field gets even crazier looking. And I think it's a real reason to consider picking yourself up a film camera. I believe this guy right now will probably run you $400 to get a kit like this. Maybe a little bit more. I saw one on eBay for $5, but I think that's a little pricey, personally. So I think $400 for the lens, the body, the film back, and the finder. I have a eye level finder or prism finder, and it's super nice for shooting portrait style photos, which is pretty much all I do with this camera. Well, as I'm showing you a normal picture taken with it, but whatever. I really like shooting portraits with this camera. And also, for me, the handle is makes this camera just awesome to travel with, to shoot portraits with. Otherwise you'd have to hold it like this and press the shutter that way and kind of have this weird awkwardness going on. So for me, the handle is a no-brainer. I would try to find one that comes with it. It's not electronic, but it does have the film advance and the shutter release on there. This camera does require a battery though, and there's a battery check on there. So that is something to keep in mind. It's not fully mechanical, so things could go wrong with the electronics of the camera, just like any camera that has electronics. Alright, so these were shot with his 6x7 camera that I'll probably show you guys in another video. Another great portrait. So this is a friend, Lou, who hit me up and was like, yo, I've been seeing your work, and I posted something on Instagram. I'm like, yo, let's get out, let's shoot. If you want a free portrait session, hit me up. And he was the first person to hit me up, so the offer went straight to him. And I'm like, yeah, dude, let's link up. Let's run a couple rolls of film through this, and then I did one through my 6x7 Rapid Omega, which will probably be the next video I film after this one. That one is actually for sale on eBay right now. Amazing camera, but I'm trying to upgrade and buy a Mamiya RB 6.7. So I'm trying to get a even better 6.7 camera. That's the game plan. So definitely take a look at that video after this one if you guys want. Same thing. Awesome. Look at that depth of field, medium format. When it comes to 35mm, the size of the film negative would be comparable to maybe this size. So then this is the size. It's still much bigger than your 35 negative, So it's definitely worth the step up if you guys have been thinking about making the switch to 35 or from 35 to medium format. And I love the 6x4.5 format. I've gotten used to shooting with it Originally, when I first started shooting film, I shot a lot of square, so it was a little bit of a change. But like I said, love shooting sort of portrait orientation photos with this camera. It's great. All of these were shot with this camera. Not this one. Love the sky in this one. Also, I had seen a video that was talking about putting all of your favorite photos from the year in like an actual portfolio. So on the website, I just usually upload all of the photos I take, whether they're really good or really bad. So what I did was made subpages called 2020 portfolio, which is all of my favorite photos from 2020 and 2021 portfolio. And I want to really have high standards for what I put in the portfolio folders here, so I can really keep track of what I really liked throughout the year, and not just everything like I put on the main page. So if we go into 2021 portfolio, the second one that pops up is probably my favorite photo I have taken with the Bronica. And that would be this rosary picture. Also, if you guys are wondering why I shoot a lot of black and white, it's just because I have the chemicals to develop them. And it's very easy to develop black and white film. And the chemicals are easy to mix. And they can stay down here, same temperature all year around. And, well, bam. I just pour them, easy, develop. I don't got to mix. So color rolls I still send off to get just have them develop them, and then I scan them. But black and white's just the temperature can be the same, and it's super easy and very hard to mess up. So definitely develop your own black and white if you haven't tried it. It's not as scary as people make it sound. It's just a little investment to get into it. This New Hope, PA picture of the train station, love it. Really just shows how sharp this camera is. The lens I have on it is the Zenzon E2 75mm 2.8. So 2.8 is an awesome depth of field, and this was shot with a very low grain. Actually, it was probably shot with the Ilford Delta 100, which has become one of my favorite medium format films. Maybe my favorite. I love like the images that I get when I'm using that film. I really like 3200, the Delta 3200, that super grainy film, if you're going for super vintage looking photos. But if you're trying to like get the most detail out of your camera to really see how it handles, this film is where it's at. Because even here, I don't think I can zoom in, but let's try. No, it just zooms in there. All right, whatever. Same thing, shot this with this one. Looks great. This was with the 6.7 camera. This was with the Bronica. This was also with the Bronica. A really cool photo of a very unique town. Bronica. Nice thing about shooting black and white too is any light's good light to shoot black and white. So it just allows me to shoot more and whenever I want, you know. Whereas color and light can be kind of a deciding factor of whether you take the photo. Whereas this photo, the composition was cool. The lighting didn't have to be good. I don't even remember what the lighting was. If it was good, if it was super bright or overexposed. It's just good. Black, whites, highlights, shadows, stuff like that just really makes black and white. And it makes you think differently when you're shooting it. And it's a little trickier because your eyes don't see in black and white, you know. This is 3200 Delta film, the stuff that I was talking about that makes really vintage looking photos. Really cool. This was shot with the other camera I'm going to do a video on, the Kony Rapid Omega 200. It's a 6x7 camera. And I started shooting that and I was like, yep, I'm getting a 6x7 camera. That's just a beast. So I'm going to be buying the RB67 once I sell this one. This thing is sick though, this camera. Same thing, shot this one with that too. badass for sure. This was shot with the Bronica again. So I don't want this to go on too long. We'll just sort of go towards the end. All right, that's the end of this. Let's see if there was any worthwhile mentions in the 2020 portfolio that were shot with this camera. I think we got some more color shots that were shot with this camera, just to give you an idea of how this camera will do in color too, because I did shoot color rolls through this camera, and it is quite impressive. And the out of focus elements and the bokeh swirls and circles you get in this camera are really cool. Overall, if you're looking for an entry camera that's not a Mamiya series, because let me look on eBay. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, that's a tracking number. You guys can check my tracking number now. All right. Let's see what a 645 Mamiya 645 goes for. Yeah, that's pretty. Without a lens. Oh, that does have a lens. Oh, that's bidding though. Buy it now, $450. That's not bad. They're good cameras too. I like this because thing's just a beast. Definitely electronic too. So, just like with any electronic camera. So, similar price to the Mamiya 645. But I've never used that, so I can't really attest to how that camera would hold up. This was shot with this camera. Same with this picture. This picture. And a lot of these color ones were shot on 400H, and I'm sad to say that that film stock by Fuji is no longer made. It's just a bummer. Portra 800 of the homie Corey and his wife. They wanted like a Christmas style photo, so we got him a nice little thing. I think I could have definitely lowered this one down and composed it a little weird, but we learn it, man. Every day we learning, we doing better. Great film photo. Oh, I'm out here jamming out to this music. You guys can't even hear it. Let me. Whatever. No chance of copyright, that's for sure. All right, now we're getting to when I had the Yasica, which was my square format camera. This was shot on this camera with Delta 3200. Just super like silhouette-y and gritty looking photo. Very cool. You can really see the sharpness when you use a low ISO film on this camera too. Now we're getting a lot of 35mm shots. And into square, which would pretty much be the end. Or not the end, but would be before having this camera. So those are sort of my experiences from the last couple months of owning this Bronica. And I would suggest it, man. I would say $400. You could probably get it for under 400 or 400. And at that price, it's a no-brainer for that. I mean, when you're talking like, let's see what we could get at Best Buy in the 35mm digital world for that price. $500, you could get a Canon EOS 400D. Talking something that will take pretty good pictures too. So you could get your Bronica for about the price of this, which would be a Rebel T100. Kind of lens you get 18 to 55. So yeah, I mean, and you would not get anywhere near the crazy depth of field that you'll get on this camera, even with a sharp open lens, for sure. Also, go check out the Facebook and the Instagram, um, the website as well. These were shot on that 6x7 camera, and I'm excited to do more like studio style. And I like these are pretty genuine looking because I feel like him not really smiling in these photos sort of made it like just sort of how he acts and how he feels normally. Just this is Lou, you know, and you get to know him. It's cool. Same thing. I didn't really pose him too much for these photos. He just kind of like did what he was feeling, and I kind of like that with portraits for sure. So hope you guys enjoyed. Peace, y'all.